It's time to send little ones to dreamland and set your podcast player's dial to We Got This with Mark and Hal. I did it again. I threw in another Thrilling Adventure Hour promo just for you guys. I hope you're still thinking about the show. You probably are. That's still being podcast everywhere, and it's available in comic form. Have you checked out the comics yet? Available through Image, written by Ben Acker and Ben Blacker. There's Sparks Nevada, and there's Beyond Belief. Beautifully drawn. So well written. They're a pleasure to read. Even if you've never really listened to the Thrilling Adventure Hour podcast, and I can't imagine that you're not familiar with it if you're listening to us, but if you've never heard of the show before and your first entree into the world was reading these comics, you would not be lost. You would enjoy it. And it really captures the voice that the Bens crafted over the course of 10 years of writing the stage show / podcast. So please check those out. Can't recommend them highly enough. And while you're doing things that I'm asking you to do, and Mark too, he's not here, but he endorses this. He wants you to go to iTunes and rate and review us so that more people can discover the show. It really does help. Why? I don't know. I don't work at Apple. If I did, I would probably have like a Segway or something. Wouldn't that be great? Let's all imagine a world where I have a Segway. And while we're doing that, let's listen to the new episode of We Got This. Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. What's the best ice cream flavor?
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Mark.
I'm Hal, and this is episode 17, probably?
I have no
17,
idea. Don't
16, who knows? I looked at Mark like he's the one who numbers and posts these. It's me, everybody. When you see them show up, it's me that did it. Not that Mark isn't capable of doing it, but I'm anal retentive and a control freak, and Mark is very kind.
And you know what? He's doing a great job, so I'm not going to try to help anytime soon.
That's right. It's only when there's a big problem. But when there's a fire at the factory, Mark will show up.
Exactly.
And I'll lose my job. But
the Triangle Waistcoat Show with Hal and Mark.
What is the Triangle Waistcoat? What are you talking about?
It was the very famous factory fire at the turn of the 20th century.
There you go. Very famous. Look it up if you're me.
Right here, we'll talk about factory fires on our ice cream episode. Let's introduce our guest.
Yes, this guest is someone who we have known for 9 or 10 years, one of the original guest stars of the Thrilling Adventure Hour. You may know him from CSI, a crime scene investigation. He is the talented, the brilliant Dave Berman. Hello, Dave.
Oh, man. Hi, guys. I'm a huge fan, so I'm really nervous. This is only the second talk show I've ever been on.
Okay.
Tell us about the first talk show you ever went on.
Well, the first talk show was the fabulously talented Mormon sensation Marie Osmond.
She is fabulously talented.
She really is. And I was so nervous, and I had all these stories. And right before I went in to do it, I was working on the CSI program with the crime.
Sure.
And
the investigating scenes.
Ted Danson from Cheers.
Yes.
He was on the show. And I said, do you have any advice for me? He goes, just don't talk too much. So I did the Marie Osmond show, and I was so nervous. And at the end of it, I said, that was my first show, Marie Osmond. How did I do? And she goes, you did really great, but you talked a little too much.
The one thing you were trying not to do.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Right. So I feel like I've already talked too much in this.
No, you are welcome to talk as much as you want. And people, you're going to hear what sounds like either people farting or people who are on an oldie-timey ship with the ropes pulling on the sails. We're sitting on luxurious leather seats.
Yes, on a ship while one of us is pulling the ropes.
And while one of us is farting.
Yes.
Yeah. One of us is pulling ropes, the other one is pulling fingers. Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
This is an ice cream show.
I will say, I remember watching that interview, and I thought you were excellent on that interview,
Thank
David.
you.
Yeah.
And also, for some reason, I don't know why, I remember going, that's a sharp pair of shoes that gentleman is wearing.
Oh, yeah. That was the nicest pair of shoes that I've ever
nice
worn.
pair of
Were they
shoes.
wingtips? I equate nice shoes to wingtips.
Yeah, I think they were wingtips.
They were the whole wing.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just a pair of wings on your feet.
Well,
Yeah.
like
his
Mercury.
shoes had a
Those
Red Bull.
shoes were nicer than like most cars I've owned in my life. They were really nice shoes.
Should we talk about ice cream?
Oh
yeah.
yes, of course.
I want to say that I believe that Dave Berman, who's been on our list to be a guest for some time anyway, is uniquely qualified to be a guest on this episode, which is best ice cream flavor. Dave, here's some quick facts about Dave. Do you prefer Dave? I can call you Dave, not David. Do you prefer David?
Either one is great.
Yeah.
I want you to be comfortable.
Number one is he's kind and a gracious host, which you just saw illustrated.
Oh,
Number two, encyclopedic knowledge of baseball. Number three, a foodie to the max and an LA native. So
you just wrote my tombstone. Just so you know, that's what I want on it. So thanks.
that and sausage and mozzarella. Come on, right?
Hey.
Tombstone Pizza, everybody.
Come on.
Possible sponsor? Who knows? Maybe 2 more.
Did we do a pizza episode yet?
No.
The best pizza, Tombstone, episode finished.
Yeah. Please, send the check to Mark and Hal, 123 Main Street, Your Town, USA. But, David is
ice cream.
Yes, you're a huge foodie, not only in terms of knowing the most insane and best restaurants in town for any kind of food, but you're also an accomplished amateur chef.
I like to think of myself as somebody who enjoys both food and eating and the preparation.
And also the creation of food.
I do.
You have quite the garden outside. You're growing nearly every kind of fruit in the produce section of the grocery store.
I am ready for the zombie apocalypse. I have all I need is a rocking chair and a shotgun, and I'm good because I got trees, fruit trees, and herbs, and I have the tools and the talent to prepare them. So
Nobody better get near my fruit salad.
Bam. But I do particularly love making ice cream.
Yes.
It has been a real passion of mine, a subject I feel very strongly about. So
Yes.
I hope I don't ruffle feathers today.
Please.
You know
My
what?
thoughts on ice cream.
I'll say, no, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say there was a particular dish that I loved that David Berman created that my mother got upset about because I told her that the best pie I had ever had was David Berman's Concord Grape Pie. Concord grapes grown in the backyard with a homemade peanut butter ice cream on top. I came over and we're having this peanut butter and ice cream, and I said, I at one point you had made it with the peanut butter ice cream, then another time you made it with a vanilla ice cream and a peanut butter sauce on top.
Sure.
And I said, David, it used to be that the peanut butter ice cream was the peanut butter. Now you've got the peanut butter sauce. What does the vanilla ice cream represent?
What gives?
Yeah.
He said.
And he said, oh, the vanilla ice cream, if you're having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, that's the glass of milk.
That's true.
That is a well-crafted dessert, my friend.
True.
Brilliant.
Yeah, when Mark told his mother that my grape pie was the finest dessert that he'd ever tried, made an enemy that day.
Yeah. Yeah. You're my mother and
I'm
you
public
are.
enemy number one in Mrs. Mark's mom's. Mrs. Mark?
Mrs. Mark's mom. That's her legal name.
It's not Mrs. Gagliardi, right?
No, it's Mrs. Tinsley.
Mrs. Tinsley's
Mrs.
home.
Tinsley, which
Right.
sounds like she should be running a cookie company in the mall. Mrs.
Or
Tinsley's,
Mrs. Tinsley's cookies.
homemade cookies.
Or in a tree.
Yeah, or in a tree. The Tinsley family lives in a giant oak farm in Concord, Massachusetts.
Oh, if they lived in Concord and David's Concord grape pie was better than anything she made, then it would.
That's why the hatred is so strong. It's hatred, right?
It's hatred, but guys, we gotta get back to ice cream.
We got to get back to
let's
ice
get back
cream.
to
Thank
ice
you.
There's a lot to talk about.
Another quick ice cream story
Please.
about David Berman. David was nice enough to host my wife Jennifer and I for dinner recently in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And David recreated an ice cream flavor that he loved as a child, which was an orange chocolate chip.
It was, yes.
Right? Is that the night?
Yes, Swiss orange chip.
Swiss
was,
orange
was
chip.
made by Swenson's, which was back in my youth, that was like the Baskin Robbins of the day. Very popular in Southern California.
It was also popular in Tennessee. We
Was
had a
it really?
Swenson's in Tennessee. Absolutely.
Did
That's
not
one of the
have it
few
in
things
Philly.
Southern California and Tennessee have in common.
Sure.
A
Except for
mutual-
this guy.
That's true.
That's right.
And it was my father's favorite ice cream flavor. And my mother was a bit of a sugar Nazi. No sugar in the house.
Yes.
No sweets. We would have carob, and we would have Diet Hansons, and we would just, all the delicious delicacies of sugar were replaced with like disgusting things that looked just like it. But my father felt bad for us. Every once in a while we'd sneak down to Swenson's and get the Swiss orange chip, which was like this like rich, velvety chocolate with like little like tiny chocolate chips in it, and the whole thing was just kind of had just like a wisp of orange, flavor of orange. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Here's the secret. I don't know if I've told you this. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's chocolate and citrus together. However,
There's a lot
that
of things
ice
you
cream,
can't stand.
yeah, I'm a very picky eater.
Yeah.
But that ice cream was delicious, and I enjoyed it immensely.
Thank you.
And my mother also, Oliva Shalom, her like idea of a sinful, she would be like, you know what's a really sinful dessert? A pineapple.
Yeah.
And then like did not understand how dessert worked. My father is a chocoholic, so we didn't have like the same, like we would try sugar-free stuff every now and then, but for the most part, like there was ice cream around.
I mean, I'm a fan of fruit. Don't get me wrong. I've always been a fan of fruit.
Sure.
Let's just not confuse fruit with dessert because they're different
Just
things.
because something is sweet doesn't make it a dessert.
Does not a dessert make.
It's odd that all three of us have mothers who were very adamantly, anti-dessert.
Quick story.
Please.
And I promise we'll get back to this. So,
yes.
In second grade, on my birthday, you know, when you're a little kid and it's on your birthday and you bring snacks, and it's usually like a donut or a cupcake or sometimes even like ice cream or something. Yeah. And for my birthday, my mother made me bring Planters peanuts as the treat. and
most popular kid in class.
Yeah. And I was most certainly not the most popular kid in class, even aside from like the dessert snafu. And at recess, my friend Daniel Silverberg, who I'm still good friends with, said, "David, what did you bring for your birthday treat?" And I said, "Peanuts." And he went, "Peanuts? Peanuts? I wanted donuts." Burst into tears. Into tears. Scarred me. Years of therapy.
It sounds like you were the wrong one to go to therapy in that case.
Yeah. If this kid is getting really upset by someone else's birthday.
I hope my mother listens to this and Daniel Silverberg listens to this. They both owe me an apology.
Daniel Silverberg, if you're listening to this show, this is your apology to make. I hope you got this.
Yeah. So, all right. I feel like, there are so many different flavors of ice cream out there by so many different manufacturers, that I think we should try to cut some swaths away.
Variables need to be eliminated. I've been thinking about this. This question, unlike all, and I, by the way, huge fan, listen to every show. Every other show, there are two definite choices with limited variables. Coke or Pepsi, if you have a Coke in Siam or if you have a Coke in Phoenix, it's going to taste the same.
Yes.
Not so with ice cream. Not even the same flavor will taste the same if it's being eaten at two stores that are next door to each other.
Yes. So I think what makes the best ice cream flavor is one that you will seek out no matter what the manufacturer. Like
interesting.
I'll look for it from Haagen-Dazs or Grater's ice cream, which is based out of Ohio and is now available in stores out here, or Breyers, or, even if it's a handmade, like that's the one you go to as your flavor.
That it's hard to screw up.
It's true, but I agree with you. Mm-hmm. However, I do think that some manufacturers make a much better vanilla than other manufacturers.
Sure.
And that same manufacturer may have perfected butter pecan for some odd reason.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
I almost think even that is challenging. It's challenging to do that.
Right. I will say we can probably right off the bat eliminate flavors that exist only in one or two specific locations. Meaning there's a famous ice cream parlor that holds the Guinness World Record for the most flavors. It's called the Coromoto Ice Cream Shop in Venezuela. They have 860 flavors, including chili and garlic, macaroni and cheese, which contains real macaroni and cheese, and flavors that I don't know what they are, but their names are British Airways.
It's parts of plane.
Viagra Hope.
That's parts of another type of plane.
And British Airways.
That's
did I already say British
Airways?
Airways?
Same plane, but a different part of it.
All right.
Wow.
No, British Airways, Viagra Hope. Oh, and I'm sorry, darling. That's the third flavor.
You need some penicillins in there.
Yeah. That one's served in an
I'm sorry for what I gave you.
Yes.
It'll clear up soon.
Right, sure.
It's served in a commemorative Andy Cap cup. The worst. Can we talk about Andy Cap for just a second?
Best hot fries.
The only hot fries.
Yeah.
Which does not make them the
Terrible
best.
comic strip.
Yeah. It's basically a comic strip, if you're not familiar, about a British alcoholic who fights with his wife so badly that he's constantly sleeping on the couch.
That's right. Yeah.
Like between that and the Lockhorns.
He's just like a wife beating drunk.
Yeah, those two things like ruined that, and the Lockhorns ruined marriage probably for an entire generation of people who read those comics. Well, they're like, oh, this will not end well. I'm going to be single forever.
But
Beetle Bailey ruined the heroism of the American military. So all comic strips ruin something.
That's true.
But you know what they didn't ruin? Ice cream.
They didn't.
No, they didn't.
They didn't.
So
You're really good at getting us back on the ice cream.
I just feel like we only have I think 14 minutes left, and
give or take. Sometimes they go a little longer.
I just think that what we should do, and I'm just going to throw it out. This is your show. If at any point I'm like overstepping my bounds, just like elbow me.
Let's hear it.
But I think maybe we should just go around without thinking too hard. Just say your favorite ice cream flavor. Just say it.
Okay.
Mark?
Mint chip.
Mint chocolate chip.
Mint chip.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No,
all three of us have the same favorite flavor?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be hard to get off of that.
It really is.
Well, look here. Let's go to the classics. I'm going to go with the what I'm calling the Neapolitan 3.
Sure.
Vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry.
Sure.
Okay.
Vanilla can be done very well, and as a creamy ice cream, it's a great sidekick. It is the best sidekick for pie or cake or whatever.
You're never going to have another dessert and say, you know what wouldn't go good, what would not go well with this? Vanilla. But you definitely could say that for mint chip. If I'm making you a cherry pie, I would never put mint chip on there.
No, you couldn't.
So are we just going on the idea that we are simply having the ice cream and maybe a cone?
Yes.
Yes.
Because vanilla I do find vanilla the most versatile. And I've seen it not even in ice cream form. I've seen it melted down, and melted vanilla ice cream used as an ingredient.
I would never ever go to your Swenson's. I would never even go to like a Thrifty's or anywhere and say, give me a scoop of vanilla, please.
Yeah, because you would be my mom.
Yeah, that's
what she did.
That's something, no offense, that's something a lunatic would do.
Yes.
You don't get.
My mother was a lunatic, to be fair.
But I think, I have a very good friend Alan. Vanilla. He likes the vanilla. And but he also eats his steak well done. I just shrug.
And he always wears turtlenecks.
He always wears turtlenecks.
Puts ketchup on a hot dog.
Yeah. And lives in a tan house.
Just you know Alan?
Completely. I do. I know the type. Believe me. Vanilla.
Alan's the best, but he likes the vanilla. So I think that we just need to remove vanilla from the equation.
Okay.
And I think that we could all say that vanilla is a nice side piece. But we're talking about.
But we do need to show it the respect it deserves.
Yes.
Vanilla is the bedrock foundation of ice cream, at least at this point.
That's beautifully said.
Can I give another little history thing? Just thinking about, because vanilla I think is the best ice cream for a sundae. The history of the sundae. Do you guys know any of this?
I do not.
This is kind of cool.
Please.
When the ice cream float was invented, the ice cream float, for some reason, churches decided that the ice cream float was sinful to eat and drink. I guess it's like mixing fabrics of different kinds, mixing a food and a beverage into one thing.
It's the devil's sweat. Everybody knows that.
Sure. So on Sundays, it was a sin to eat. It was a sin to eat an ice cream float. So what soda shops would do is they would have ice cream sundaes with a Y, where they would not put the carbonated water in it. They would just serve the ice cream with the syrup over the top. And that was how ice cream sundaes were invented.
Ice cream does have kind of a devilish, kind of a dark history. Do you know that ice cream was brought into Europe by the Emperor Nero? Famous for burning down Rome, playing the fiddle while Rome burned.
And eating ice cream.
And eating ice cream. No, he did. He used to order his slaves, I'm assuming slaves. I don't think a free person would do this.
Sure.
To go up into the hills, bring down ice, and then he would flavor it with fruit for a delicious frozen dessert. Isn't that interesting?
Listen.
Yes.
Nero.
He did a lot of terrible things, sure, but his culinary skills unparalleled as emperors go.
And he won Top Chef Rome every year that he was emperor.
Until he burned it down.
Which is huge. Yeah, until he burned it down because he came in second.
And that's a little known fact. He actually burned down Rome because the kitchen wasn't big enough. He wanted to remodel.
That was the problem.
Yeah, he needed more freezer space.
Just another,
that's a fact.
The dark side of ice cream. Not a lot of people know this, but Anton LaVey is made out of chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. Entirely. definitely
Oh, that's also one of the ones near the top of my list, but that seems more specific.
hanging out with Anton LaVey.
No. Anton LaVey flavored ice cream.
Sure.
That's the 805th flavor at that place.
Oh man, I want to go eat those crazy flavors.
Yeah.
Should we move on to chocolate?
Yes.
Chocolate-based ice cream.
Chocolate-based ice creams. Are we including Rocky Road and Peanut Butter Cup and all of
I think we have to.
Sure.
How do we feel about, since we're taking the element of where you're getting it out and we're using, ones that are made pretty generally, are you in favor of the ice cream flavor standing alone, or are you in favor of more stuff getting put into it, Ben & Jerry's style?
I feel like, if I may, like the poorer quality of ice cream, the better off you are using chocolate. You could hide more in a chocolate.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Chocolate is such an intense flavor that if you load it, even if it's bad chocolate and it's a ton of corn syrup and it's been sitting in the back of your freezer and has ice on it, if you load it with a ton of delicious stuff, your candies, and whatnot, I feel like you could get away with it. Vanilla, you can't get away with anything.
Yeah.
Vanilla,
really?
Vanilla, it's naked. It lays bare. The tastes are it's a more delicate taste that is ruined by freezer burn or poor ingredients.
That's fair to say. I mean, I like chocolate as a richer flavor. Rocky Road is fine. I mean, we're trying to sort of get through it in a relatively short period of time. So I do like chocolate a lot. It's a very rich flavor. It's one that I would put up in contention just because almost everybody loves chocolate. Chocolate is one of those things where if somebody doesn't love it, you go, why? What? Who hurt you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so when people are like, I'm not really a music fan.
Yes. Yeah. I don't really like things.
Yeah.
You don't wait. Who?
Yeah. You know what's awful? Naps.
Yeah.
I sure do hate breathing air.
I understand though if someone doesn't like chocolate ice cream because it is a rush of flavor. That's why I think, to go back to what we all agreed was our favorite flavor, which is mint chip, is that it is a vanilla-based ice cream with chocolate in it.
Sure. And usually dark chocolate.
Yes.
Which I prefer.
Indeed. When I make mint chip, I like to use fresh mint from the garden. You soak the mint in what would be like a custard, which is, milk, cream, vanilla, sugar. Soak the mint. Then you use a blender. You blend up the mint. It makes a very nice lint. Lint? There's no lint in it. I use no lint.
No lint in yours?
No.
I like lint in
Next.
mine. Yeah.
Nice minty flavor. And then chop up a couple peppermint patties to really kind of goose that custard, that ice cream. That makes it delicious.
I like the way you're talking right
Thanks.
now.
Yeah, this is making
Guys,
me
should we
hungry.
just stop this and we should go have ice cream?
Yeah, I'm ready to throw this microphone into the wall so hard it breaks, so we have no choice but to go get ice cream.
So we've all agreed that vanilla is the most versatile. Chocolate really appeals to almost everybody.
Yes. While we're on the Neapolitan
Please.
trio,
Yeah.
strawberry.
I think we could just add a hand. I
know.
speak for the group.
I want
Yeah.
I want strawberry to be up there, but
Yeah.
Please.
for some reason, fruit. I've never been a sorbet or a sherbet or sherbet or sherbet or whatever the hell you're supposed to call it.
Sorbet.
Sorbet.
Yeah.
I've never. If I'm gonna have fruit flavored desserts, it's gonna be Twizzlers.
Sure.
But yeah, I tend to lean more towards those heartier, creamier flavors.
And also, to me, it goes back to fruit is fruit and dessert is dessert. So, one fruit, give me a piece of fruit.
Sure.
And I think fruit flavored things taste really artificial.
Yeah.
Yes, I will say I like Breyer's strawberry ice cream, which is what I was raised on because it has chunks of strawberry in it.
Well, that's curious.
So
'Cause it's real strawberry.
There's real strawberry in there.
Okay.
But I also like their coffee ice cream. I feel like coffee is another flavor. Coffee is one of the forgotten flavors of ice cream.
And I
I'm not
feel
a
like
fan.
if you don't like coffee, then you don't like coffee ice cream.
But I don't like coffee. I don't drink coffee.
You don't?
I only drink it in like Frappuccino form. It has to be a milkshake like I'm 3.
What you need to know about Hal
Yes,
is,
yes.
Hal has the palate of an 8-year-old.
Yeah, I do.
But I find that fascinating. You don't like coffee, but you
don't.
like coffee ice cream.
You know why? Because
You are an enigma.
coffee is very bitter,
Okay.
but coffee ice cream by its nature has some bitterness to it, but is very sweet.
Interesting.
So it's
Like
as
you,
if
Hal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm bitter and jaded from 15 years of living in Los Angeles, but I'm also very sweet.
Yeah.
I've got a big bushy beard like Santa Claus. What about Ben and Jerry's? Like all their flavors.
I'm a fan. Ben
I
and
love
Jerry's
Ben
is the
and
one
Jerry's.
company that I can I can go to, and I've got like 3 or 4 go-to flavors.
Hit us with one of them. What's your
Cherry
number
Garcia.
One? Cherry Garcia. How about you? Number one?
I feel the same way about Ben & Jerry's that I do about like Las Vegas. Like, I love Las Vegas in small doses.
Sure.
Like, I love it. But like, you give me Ben & Jerry's, I don't, care if it's Chunky Monkey, if it's, Cherry Garcia, if it's any of those wild and crazy flavors.
Chubby Hubby.
Like, Chubby Hubby. For a few bites, I'm like, oh, this is great. And I'm like, I need a nap, and I need lots of water. And I need to go home.
Yeah, I don't know how
money's gone.
All my money's gone.
It avoids making just your mouth sticky, and somehow your whole body feels sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the most delicious way.
I need to drink gallons of water after having like a little bit of Ben & Jerry's.
I will say also that between that almost every like weird flavor they have sounds like a Garbage Pail Kid.
It's right.
Wavy Gravy, Chunky Monkey.
Yeah.
Here's like Chubby Hubby and Chunky Monkey. Those are the two set. It's the same like, and it also is like, they're like going, all right, fat people, we know you love ice cream.
Yeah.
Hey,
Now
you
I'm thinking-
fat husband. If they called it Fat Husband, nobody would eat it. Chubby Hubby's cute.
I'm trying to think of other Garbage Pail Kid names that would make good ice creams.
Atom Bomb.
Yeah, that would be a perfect
That'd be a
one.
really good one.
Messy
Brad Boyles.
Yeah.
What?
It would be
That's worse than Viagra Surprise, whatever the hell that was.
Yeah, exactly.
From before.
That's. I don't want any ice cream that I have to consult with my doctor if the taste lasts for 4 to 6 hours.
But at the same point, as someone who is deprived of like lots of crap, like
Yeah.
I love like the more candy the better. You put like a big hunk and chop it up, and you put 100 grand bar and some gummy bears. Like I'm on board. I've signed up for that.
What do you guys
But I
think about?
still don't think of that as being like high quality ice cream.
No, that's a creation.
It's a Big Mac.
It's a confection.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys like the make your own confection kind of places like a Yogurtland or Pinkberry or?
Well, so those are all different. So Yogurtland is like the self-serve. If you don't have Yogurtland near you, maybe you're not on Earth because it seems like they're everywhere now.
They had them in they have them all over California, the U.S. and New Zealand.
Yeah, there is a distinction though. Yogurtland, you serve your own ice cream. You put on as many toppings as you want. You pay by weight. So a place like Pinkberry, they measure out if you say I want a medium, they measure it out and it goes on a scale, and then they load it up as much as they can. Like they're never going to be as generous as you are if you love toppings. Then there's Cold Stone, where you literally are creating your own flavor by mixing a couple of different ice creams together, maybe putting some candy in.
I feel like it's all pornography. It's just versions of pornography. To me, it's all
It's food
pornography.
porn.
It's all cheap, dirty,
Yeah.
gross pornography.
All right.
But some of it, like, to me, like a Cold Stone is like high class pornography. It's
Right.
pornography that you have to pay for.
You can put peanut M&Ms in.
Yeah,
in
Sure,
just feel
it's
like-
black and white nude art.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
art. It's like Maplethorpe, you know? But to me, when I go to Yogurtland, like, I feel like I should be wearing a trench coat. Like, I
Yeah.
should be alone. Like, I sit in the corner and I eat it all, and my teeth hurt and my gums hurt.
Uh-huh.
And it's just...
My
like,
face hurts from crying.
Right, and I feel like, totally. And I feel like I've just taken years off my life.
Well, I think when it comes to sweets, if you love sweets, people are like dogs. Like a dog will eat itself to death.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't put a dog in a Yogurtland type place and go, you can have as much as you want, because they won't know, you can't govern yourself properly.
Right. And nor can you blame the dog. The dog doesn't know that he shouldn't eat more. And I become a dog in those places.
Yeah. So we're going to remove
food porn.
We're going to remove
Right.
food porn.
And let's just go, if we could, since I know we've veered off a bit, if we could make our list of probably the biggest flavors we can think of and narrow it down from there. We've done vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, coffee, mint chip has been mentioned.
Chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip, classic.
But I feel, whenever I have a chocolate chip ice cream, I feel like they forgot to put the mint
Where's the
in.
mint in this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
I an eyebrow raises when someone orders chocolate chip. I'm like, I just assume that they're out of mint chip.
Right. Or you've made a mistake. You meant mint chocolate chip. You didn't realize that there's a bad kind.
Now, if my brother was here, he would say, "Oh, butter pecan." Like, and to him, it's like, well, of course it's butter pecan. And I'm not saying that's not a delicious flavor, but what we're discussing is what is the best flavor.
Yes.
And I don't think butter pecan is makes that shortest
doesn't make
list.
the
It's the vanilla of flavored
Yeah.
ice creams.
Also,
So it was another one that my mother loved.
butter pecan also has always kind of bothered me because, you know, unless it's like Rocky Road where it's got a funky name, mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Yeah.
Great. So, it's got mint and chocolate chips in it. Butter pecan. Okay. I know it has pecans. So is it the base just butter flavored ice cream? That's not appealing to me at all.
So you're upset because you feel misled.
I feel like that ice cream is misleading
You feel
me.
lied to.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And I had Chunky Monkey, no chunks of monkey in it.
See, that was a big one. But I did have a chubby hubby, and I'm pretty sure there was a fat person who was murdered and got up into that ice cream.
So,
to be fair.
To get back to this list.
Peanut butter cup?
You're nothing is not fair.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm a fair-handed.
I was curious about peanut butter cup. Would you consider that to be one of these food porn creations? Because I don't know if enough, like, I don't think it's globally on the list.
I also just don't think, I am answering your question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that just by chopping up a candy and throwing it in vanilla ice cream, that, does not a new flavor make. To me, mint chip, you are altering the structure, you are altering the actual base ice cream to create something new.
Right.
So I look askance at your peanut butter cups, your cookie doughs, your brownies and whatnot.
I will add one to the list though that, I agree with you,
Thank you.
but I will add to the list because I do think it substantially changes the texture of it.
Okay.
Cookies and cream. Cookies and cream is blended Oreos inside. And I'm talking about a smooth cookies and cream, not like one that's just got Oreos broken in half in it.
Mm-hmm.
When I make my mint chip along those lines, okay, in addition to making that custard the base that turns into the ice cream
With the patties in it.
with the patty, well, we got not even there yet. First, as I said, you soak the mint, actual mint, and then you blend the mint into that cream. Then you add 3 different types of chocolate. You add peppermint patties that are chopped up. Then you add chocolate. Then you take a candy bar, a good chocolate bar, and you break it up into rough pieces, and that makes the chips.
Mm-hmm.
And then you melt chocolate over a double broiler. And then as the ice cream is churning, you drip the melted chocolate in there. So when you're eating it, you are getting 3 distinct flavors and textures of chocolate. You're getting 3 different types of chocolate, and it hits your palate differently. As opposed to, let me throw a, chopped up brownie in there.
I'll tell you what that sounds like what you just described.
Please.
While delicious, not quite porn ice cream, but like pulling the spaghetti strap down over the shoulder just a little bit.
Is a beautiful, classy woman who is well-read and refined and could discuss art with you and just is the most beautiful creature you've ever seen. To me, the Yogurtland? The Yogurtland is just some hussy at the mall.
Sure.
I feel like your version, every time you make mint chip ice cream, it's like Ex Machina. Like you've created this perfect. If you haven't seen Ex Machina, it's a great reference. These guys haven't seen it.
No.
Creating a woman. Anyway, I'm talking
is it
too
like
much.
Weird Science?
It is. It's less funny and more of a think piece. But here's my thing about peanut butter. Just in defense of peanut butter cup, because I think it's great.
Sorry.
In a vanilla base, not great. In a peanut butter ice cream base, fantastic.
Not too much peanut butter for you?
No, I love peanut butter. Okay. And I feel like an archaeologist when I eat it, because it's like an excavation. Oh, how big, I see this looks like a little bit of peanut butter cup. Guess what? Half a cup. You just won the lottery.
Wow.
Yeah, it is nice when you're digging and that peanut butter cup that you are digging out continues on and on and on.
Or what's great is when you open up a container of ice cream and you just want to take one spoonful and you happen to have got a spoon that's all peanut butter.
Oh, yeah.
And you feel like, well, I haven't eaten that much. I just had 1 tablespoon. That's all good stuff.
Yeah.
It's all thriller, no filler.
Can I tell you, this is a bit of my OCD coming in. When I've got the tub of ice cream in the freezer, I will scoop it out into the bowl in such a way that the ice cream that goes back into the freezer is flat across the top. Does that make me a crazy person?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
That's Mark's particular brand.
I also think that's very considerate. Because nobody wants to open up ice cream and it looks like a nuclear war has gone off in there. You don't like to see giant craters.
You don't want to see someone else's carbon footprint.
No,
not carbon.
There doesn't need to be like a
nitrogen
footprint in there with divots and stuff.
Yeah, sure. I guess I work in. You can tell when I've been in a tub of ice cream because there are divots. Just somebody has taken chunks of this, like they're building the pyramid.
Sure.
I guess it must be genetically
Like a couple of gangsters couldn't decide which hole to dig the body for, so they just dug 20.
Oh, no. It's more like somebody took like a planing instrument of some kind and has dug like, they're making a ramp down into the tunnel of forbidden secrets.
Well, I know if I'm ever at your home or Mark's, I will eat Mark's ice cream.
Yeah. That's perfect. That is the other side benefit of doing it my way is there's more ice cream for me.
So maybe we could just discuss, we've all agreed that mint chip is our favorite.
Yes.
Mark, why is mint chip your favorite?
Mint chip to me is perfect as a dessert. There's a reason that mints are given at the end of a meal. It's that there's that refreshing, there's that refreshing moment of cool mint hitting your palate after you've finished. I mean, it could be a heavy or a light meal, but it's that coolness that I love. And then of course I love ice cream and I love chocolate. So those layers on top of it, I feel like a scoop of mint chip ice cream, not to forsake my Italian roots. I do love spumoni at the end of an Italian meal. But a single scoop of mint chip in a glass dish with a small spoon is the perfect after dinner dessert for me.
Well said.
Yeah.
Top that, Hal.
I agree. First of all, a single scoop of mint are you a baby? Give me a boulder the size of the one that tried to kill Indiana Jones.
With
I don't
giant
care.
soup spoon.
Yeah. Give me a giant soup spoon. I don't care. You can stick an IV in me. My ice cream aspiration is to eat a Vermonster. A Vermonster, if you don't know, if you go to a Ben & Jerry's retail location, is a bucket filled with like 32 scoops of ice cream. And anytime I'm in a situation where you get multiple scoops of anything, I always say, give me mint chip. I don't want to mix it with other flavors. Mint chip is
really,
great as it
you don't
is.
mix your flavors if you're doing a double scoop cone?
No, I say give me mint and then put more mint on top of it. And if you're going to give me another one, guess what I want? Mint.
Let me guess.
Go ahead, guess.
Mint chip.
That's correct.
I was going to guess something else.
It's so good. It's sweet. And then if you have really good, it's traditionally dark chocolate that's mixed in, which gives you a little bit of bitter and a different kind of sweet. It is great in almost any sundae. I wouldn't put it with a banana split, but put it on a waffle. It's great. Put it on a cookie. It's great. Put it on a brownie. It's great. Even with with chocolatier cakes, it's great. And it makes a fantastic milkshake.
Does make a great milkshake.
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
That's
another
milkshakes.
show, but it's a great milkshake.
But I'm glad we touched upon it now.
Yeah.
Berman?
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I touched upon it earlier that I don't like too much of one thing. So to me, I don't like chocolate. I don't like vanilla. I don't even like peanut butter ice cream with peanut butter in it. So to me, mint ice cream without the chocolate in it is very light and very kind of delicate, and it cleanses the palate really nicely. But to get that punch from the chocolate is so great. And I like mint. Mint appeals to me. Mm-hmm. Always has. I also like to think that it's kind of healthy. So I'm like, oh, it's mint.
Yeah.
It's
This
like an
is
herb.
good for me.
This is good for me.
It's like eating a salad.
Yeah, it's probably probably has antioxidants in it.
Sure.
It probably has flavonoids, I'm guessing.
It's pretty much a superfood.
It's kind of a superfood.
If you're eating any green leaf, it's a superfood, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. I think of green gummy bears are superfood. If it's green, it's healthy. So, yeah. And I've always thought of it as my whole life like a special treat. More so than any other ice cream. And I also think if you talk to a 5-year-old or a 75-year-old, mint chip is consistently loved as opposed to a rum raisin or something or something, even like a cherry garcia.
Not for a child.
Right. It's not for a
child. You have to be 21 to have rum raisin.
Yeah. To me, it's
and a grandma to enjoy it.
Indeed. God, well said.
I love rum raisin. If there's one flavor I enjoy.
No one's ever talked like that about mint chip.
Yeah. You never hear somebody go, can I have a rum raisin? Nobody that young asks for a rum raisin on purpose.
You might have someone that young ask for mint chip, and you might have someone on their deathbed. It's their final meal, and they've been in a haze, and they can't speak clearly. But you could see them coming out of it just long enough to ask for mint chip.
Look, if I'm on my deathbed, I'm gonna ask for one of those crazy porno ice creams.
Give me some Viagra served with a British Airways.
And also that I'm sorry, darling. That counts as a deathbed confession, right?
What's in the I'm sorry, darling?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure that
really want to know.
Rolled up pages of a Cole Porter musical. I think that's what they put in that ice cream. I feel like we've already come to a decision here, but I want to give a quick nod before we issue the final ruling. I want to give a nod to some ice cream flavors we didn't mention. One is peach. Peach is an enjoyable on a cool summer's day. Good Breyers peach ice cream is very good.
I always liked Thrifty's ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Had something called double chocolate malted crunch, which like goes against everything I've said for the last half an hour. It was chocolate with chocolate flakes and like malt balls in it.
Beautiful.
And that was a special ice cream.
How about you, Mark? What's a forgotten flavor?
You know what? There was a place that I loved that, I guess this is more of one of those crazy confections that would make a crushed up graham cracker, marshmallow, and chocolate chips, over vanilla ice cream, which was a s'more. But as far as just,
Beautiful.
That was delicious. But as just strictly ice cream flavors go, there was one called Moose Tracks that was made by
With mousse.
It was made with real mousse.
That's chocolate chips in the shape of moose feet.
Yes, and peanut butter swirl, I believe.
Peanut butter swirl.
Yeah, that's an excellent one. Have we missed any of the big one? Any of the other big ones?
Well,
Butter pecan, Rocky Road,
Strawberry.
rum raisin, strawberry vanilla chocolate, Spumoni. I have to once again.
Spumoni.
Gelato,
That's gelato.
We
Yeah.
could go through a whole assortments of cousins of ice cream, but today is really about ice cream.
Yeah.
If we want to talk about secondary characters, once again, that's another show, I think.
So folks, I can't wait for the internet to listen to this and get back to us on Twitter.
Are you ready for the death threats?
Yeah, I can't wait for it. There's still people complaining about the Batman that we chose.
Pretty sure it's Batman.
Oh yeah, which one of the Batmen we chose? No matter what our ruling is, people like to get sassy about it, and they like to lip off, and that is your right as a person on the internet.
And as an American. Thank God we live in
as
this
an American.
country.
Well, the internet's global. We do
Yeah.
have people in other countries that are listening.
I will podcast to the death for your right to try to correct us. But the simple fact is, and the three of us agree, and David agrees. I'm calling him David now to give him even more
It makes
stature.
me feel like more of a grown up.
Yeah. Mint chocolate chip is the greatest flavor of ice cream that there ever was, that there is, and that there ever will be.
Yeah.
So,
And if I may add something to that,
please,
to all of those who on the internet are giving sass.
Yeah.
This show is definitive.
Yeah. This is a final ruling.
This is a final ruling. This is the Supreme Court.
Yeah, this doesn't need to be discussed again.
Yeah.
And I want to say before we go, I just want to thank both of you for having me on the show.
Oh,
Thank
it
you for
has
being on
been
the
such
show.
a pleasure,
yeah,
David.
it's really exciting.
Tell everybody where they can find you online.
They could find me
If they wanted to
online.
find you and connect with you online.
Oh yeah, well, the Facebook, just my
Facebook?
name. DPB88 is I believe my Instagram.
Yes.
That's the pictures.
Yes.
And Twitter is David Berman 88.
So that
why
you're
is it-
Really a
why
big
is
fan
it
of the year
88?
88.
The reason why it's 88, you're asking me to answer, is that is the last year the Los Angeles Dodgers won a World Series championship.
Indeed.
And who was the starting lineup?
I don't think we have time for that.
We don't have time for that.
It's another show.
We're going to get into it. But there you go. Mint chip, best ice cream flavor. Which one do you think is best? Feel free to tell us. Let's make it a conversation, even though we've already settled it. You can talk to us about ice cream and give us more topics for other episodes of the show. And this is one that was suggested by a bunch of people, but I'm going to credit best ice cream to Ken Plume. So he was the first person to ask chocolate or vanilla ice cream, which sort of opened the floodgates.
Well, we also have other things to credit Ken Plume with.
Yes, Ken Plume does all the mixing and mastering for every single episode that you hear with your ears.
So we'd like to thank Ken Plume. We would also like to thank Mike Furman and Jonathan Dinerstein for their song and score, respectively.
Yes, and send us your topics, people. Send them to our Facebook page if you want, facebook.com/We Got This Podcast.
Or you can reach out to us on Twitter at We Got This Tweets.
Or email us at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com. For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin.
For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi, and this is Hal Lublin and Mark Gagliardi for David Berman.
Saying, don't worry, people. We got this.
We got this.